Hey, honey, I was going to share with you my most romantic story. So, oh my God. Hey, honey, I was going to share with you my most romantic story that I can remember. I was on a flight on a red eye from going from Los Angeles to New England for the holidays. This is a few years ago. I can't remember exactly when. And I was checked in through security, all that good stuff. At my gate, there's about an hour and a half to kill. So I went right across from where the gate is, right across the hall or whatever you call it. There's a bar slash restaurant called Barney's Beanery. And I ordered a cocktail and sat there by myself. There's almost nobody there. And behind me on the couches, there's this girl there. It's like a cute girl, probably a little bit younger than me. She's sitting there with a glass of Chardonnay. And somehow we struck up conversation. I don't remember who started it. It could have been either one of us. I don't remember how it started at all. All I remember is that we were in the throes of just a great conversation. We were talking about, her life, where she's from, and what her hopes and dreams were, and mine, and what she was doing in Los Angeles, and family, and all that good stuff. She's a cute, Indian girl, a couple years younger than me, I think. And we were watching like the commercials come up, and she was really excited because she had mentioned that she had got on a commercial somehow, even though she wasn't an actress or anything. She just got on a commercial, and that, obviously it pays well. And she was happy to have that experience. I guess she was in Los Angeles for a year just to have like the LA experience. And she had a great time, and she's going to really miss it, but it was probably time to go back home and go back to school and see her family and be closer to that. So I was like, yeah, cool. So we just had a good time. We had a great conversation. I think somewhere along the way, we ordered another round. I got her a round and myself one. And we killed like an hour there, just had a good time with each other. And then I was like, all right, well, I think my flight's up. I'm going to go. I'll see you never. She was like, all right, see you later. And it was, kind of sad to see each other go. But that's okay. Whatever. We just had a nice conversation with a stranger. And I'm in queue for my gate. And I look behind, and then she goes, hey. And I look, and she goes, I don't know why. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know why. We did not connect that we were on the same flight, going to the same place. I don't know why. We're either really dumb or just, I don't know, in hindsight, that seems so obvious. But so she goes, what's your seat number? I said 27, E or whatever it was. What's yours? She goes, 37A. And she goes, oh, that sucks. I was like, yeah, I don't want to make any assumptions. She's like, I was hoping that we could sit together. I was like, all right, there you go. She goes, how about this? Once we get seated, if there's anyone next to me, I'll like give you a signal, and then you can come back and you sit down. And if there's anyone next to you, if there's nobody next to you, you give me a signal and I'll come up. I said, yeah, okay, cool. I was like, man, this is like super cute. And she's really very nice. And I don't know, it's just like really sweet. And, I said, let me also check with like the flight attendant, with the ticketing agent. I went up to her. It's obviously way too late. She goes, I'm sorry. I was like, all right, whatever. So we board, the gate's locked, everyone's in our seats. Everyone's in their seats, and the plane is completely full. She goes, there's like someone next to me on both sides, and I was like, yeah, same here. So we're resigned to our fates to not sit next to each other. We sat down, and they were getting ready to push back the plane, and I got up and like I had to just make an attempt, sort of thing. So I went all the way back to her, and she was smiling as I was coming back. And I said, hey. And she said, hey. I said, do you still want to sit next to each other? She goes, yeah, for sure. I was like, okay, hang on. I asked the guy next to her. I go, hey, sir, would you mind switching seats with me so I can sit next to her? I also have an aisle seat. And he didn't mind. He goes, yeah, sure. So he got up, and he went up, and I showed him where the seat was, and I sat in his seat. And she was, beaming. I was beaming. It was like two kids who were just happy, who were just really happy. I feel like a high schooler talking about this story. Sorry. So then we buckled up, and she asked the flight attendant real cool, who's just walking by, do you have a blanket? And I was like, okay. And then she asked for a blanket, and the flight attendant gave a blanket, and she opened up the blanket bag, and she put the blanket over me and her. So she's in the middle, I'm in the aisle, and there's a guy in the window seat, and it's an overnight red-eye flight. She put the blanket over me and her, and she felt under the blanket and was kind of feeling around for my arm. and she found my hand, and she we held hands. And why I'm describing how to hold hands. We interlocked appendages. We held hands underneath the blanket, and we had the blanket over both of us, and the plane went on the runway, took off, and then she put her head on my shoulder, and we just watched TV together. And maybe an hour in, she fell asleep, and I just didn't move. I didn't want to wake her up or anything. I was kind of like frozen. I was afraid to move. Then I think eventually my head rested on hers. And when we both woke up, we were in Boston. It was like probably 5 or 6 or 7 a.m. because I don't think the sun was up yet. I forget. It was pretty early. And I said, hey. And she goes, hey. I was like, all right. We got our stuff and we walked out together. I was like, well, I guess this is it. She goes, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. That's it. And I never saw her again, and that's okay with me. It was like a perfect place to leave it. I liked that experience and that story, and that's it. A week later, when I came back to LA after the Christmas break, it stopped at the plane went to the same gate, and so when I got out, I saw the same place, Barney's Beanery, and I took a photo of it, sent it to her, and we had a laugh and all that stuff, and that's it. I don't know what's happened to her. I'm not on social media or like any of the stuff that we were communicating on, but I don't know what happened. So that's the end of that. I never saw her again, and that's okay with me. It was just this really cute moment, this really romantic story that happened out of nowhere. It was completely unexpected. It was a lot of fun, and I hope she's doing well. I hope she's doing really well. I was reminded of this because I have another story for you too. It's more funny. It's like a really cute story, but it's more funny. That happened a couple of months ago, and that girl messaged me the other day, and so that reminded me of this story, which I told to a friend of mine, and reminded me of all that stuff. So that's all I got for you, buddy. I thought life would be more like this. These like spontaneous things, and I don't know, like more artistic and romantic like this, but it hasn't really panned out that way. It wasn't the future I thought it would be. I don't know if it's happening out there and I'm not invited to it, or maybe I'm not good enough for it, or maybe it's not happening at all, but it'd be cool if it did. This is Heineken commercial that I kind of based my life on when I was younger. It's like the style of it. It has a song called Jan Pehechanho, and there's a lot of art in it, and beautiful dancing and culture. It's like a melting pot of everything and different people, and just this beautiful atmosphere and style and everything that I'm like about. And I was like, this is a cool life. Like it seemed like this like Hemingway-esque type of thing, and just really, fresh, and there's this like je ne sais quoi there that I just loved. Whether you call it Europe, it's not European because it's not the way Europe is now anymore. It's like the way I guess I thought. I don't know. I'm gonna go on a rant about this. I'll talk about this in another video.
जान पहचान हो, जीना आसान हो, जान पहचान हो, जीना आसान हो.
Anyway, that's my most romantic story that I got for you. I hope she's doing well. All right, I love you, and I love you.